Well, hello, it's Alicia with the Struggle Budget once again. It has been a while. I have been super slow on doing any filming during the holidays, and I have actually been spending time trying to figure out my current budget. What kind of changes did I want to make at the beginning of this year? I wanted to do some analysis on where did I start this year and where did I end this year, because at the beginning of this year in January was when I started the cash envelope stuffing. I had been following the cash envelope stuffing theory concept, but I was leaving everything in the bank, and I was finding that that was not working for me because I couldn't see where it was. I know there's a bank out there, Ally Bank, but I needed to put my hands on the money, move it around so I could actually see where it is. And so this little recap down here was a little bit of the reason why I started thinking I need to get serious about this. Plus I saw people playing games and I thought, oh, hey, that's interesting. That might be fun. That might be a way to stay motivated throughout the year. So I started with getting the games organized, getting the binders organized, and then started actually sharing on YouTube. The first one was in July, but I didn't really get going until August because of a hurricane in the middle of all of that. So I just want to give you kind of a quick recap of what happened, because I always like to see where people started and what kind of progress they made. And frankly, I was a little shocked by my sinking funds not being more further along than they are. I get it. My sinking funds are primarily items that I am sinking to use in this year. Typically, I have my bills binder that are within a month to 3 months because some bills are quarterly. And then I have a sinking funds that are longer term, so most likely going to be used within the year, or some part of it used within the year. And then I have which is actually, I'll just show you. So here's my bills binder, which is the 1 month to 3 months. So it's kind of a turnover all the time. And then I have my sinking funds, which is things that I know I'm going to do this year most likely, or need to save for in the 1 to 2 year period. Things that always come up and have expenses for me. And then I had a low priority new one. This is new. This was just sitting out there. I didn't get to put any money in it hardly at all last year. So this one will be new for this year. And then, the other one is my daughter's Snowball Savings Senior Binder. And then I started a month ahead Snowball Sinking Fund binder, which is a true savings binder, but I was only able to put $36 every 2 weeks into it based on my current budget at that time. So I started that one in August, and this is a recap of how far I got. But what I'm going to do is start out showing you the progress I made on debt, if any. I don't have a significant amount of debt other than my house, which I would love to pay off, but I just can't pay off $162,000 at one go. Plus, this last year, the reason I started cash stuffing was because things were getting out of control. Their bills were increasing, expenses were increasing with inflation, and things like car insurance and home insurance, and everything was just, it was a little bit out of control. So I needed to keep a good eye on it, which is what ended up happening here. I kept a good eye on it. So I'm going to just go through this real quick. So I had, for this particular category down here, I started tracking in 2023. And then this was last year, and then this is starting out the beginning of this year. And so my home loan, I basically only reduced that loan by 3.2%. That is not a significant amount, and that is paying $100 extra than the minimum payment each month. Not a significant amount, but with that $100 extra each month on a 30-year loan, you can cut the loan down by 5 years. So I started with that theory, and I'm still on that theory. So it's an automatic payment, so I don't have to worry about it. So that's all I have achieved on that one this year. My car loan, I actually paid off in March of this year. I had been focused on that car loan. I had gotten a new car in 2019. It really frustrated me because prior to that, I didn't have a car payment for like 8 years, I think. And getting a new car payment was really frustrating because I think my payment was $500 or $600 a month. Now I've already forgotten. You block out the bad things, right? So what happened was I decided to hyper focus on the car bill, and the year prior and this year I had put down a bonus I had received for achieving a professional designation at my office. So I put that towards the car, and then along with my regular payments, and an extra $100 every month. I was also doing an extra $100 a month to my car payment. And then this year, at the beginning of the year, we typically get a bonus of some sort. They call it a profit sharing, not just a performance bonus. It's a profit sharing. So if the company makes a profit, we make a profit, which is awesome because nowhere else I've ever worked has done that. And so when that bonus came in it came in January, I finally figured out how to allocate what I wanted to allocate, and then I paid off this vehicle. So this was at the beginning of the year, and I had made a couple more, 4 more payments. Between now and then, I think I was down to around $5,000 or $6,000 by the time I actually paid it off. So I paid off my car in 2024. So that was a 100% reduction of that debt. We being my ex and myself, purchased my daughter a car that was, it kind of came out of the blue. We knew the owner. They were wanting to buy something new, so we got it at a good price. So my portion of that vehicle was $2,250. That was an unexpected bill that came up, and her dad paid cash, and I just paid him back throughout the first couple of months of the year. And that was 100% gone. So I paid for that one. I don't know if that's a debt. It's kind of a debt. I guess I owed her dad. But do I really owe her dad? Yes, in this case I did. And then in 2023, I accrued a hospital bill for an emergency gallbladder removal because that's like the number one surgery the hospitals do these days. And my deductible was $8,250, which is pretty significant. And I did not have an HSA account because the plan I was on was just a high deductible plan without the HSA option, because it was more of a copay for everything but a major expense, which was a hospital stay. So I started out 2024 at $7,300 and I ended the year at $1,945. So that was a 73% reduction in debt. So I paid $5,355 this year on the hospital bill. And now this one, I was originally paying $300 out of pocket, and I was putting $400 per month into my HSA. So this year I switched to an HSA plan. The deductible is reduced to like $6,250. So if I had gotten sick this year, my bill would have automatically been $2,000 less. And when I say deductible, I mean my maximum out of pocket that I'll have to pay for that year. So at the beginning of the year, I was paying $300 on this per month, which the hospital financed at 0% interest, which I am super thankful for. And on top of this $300, I was putting $400 into my HSA per month. When I finally got my HSA account built up enough, I think it was over $2,000 that I had to get to. They stopped charging me a monthly fee on my HSA account. So they were charging, I don't know, $6, $7 a month to maintain my HSA account. So when that occurred, I switched my payment into my HSA account, meaning the bank automatically deducted from my HSA the amount I said per month. And I went down to $250 per month and made it an automatic payment so that I wasn't paying the $300 out of my pocket plus the $400 into HSA. And the other reason I did that is because the HSA money is tax-free. I'd rather use tax-free money than money that's already been taxed to pay. So making the $300 a month payments for 6-7 months and then switching it over here, that's how much I was able to pay off. I should be able to pay this off by the end of August this year if I make no other changes. If I just continue to passively let the payments go at $250 each month, My HSA will accrue, I can't remember how much each month. This year it's increased a little bit. Now I can't remember how much it is. The reason I went down to 250 is because I wanted my HSA to continue to accrue a little bit each month, because I didn't want to go back down below that $2,000 threshold and have a monthly fee. Yes, I know it's only $6 or $7, but the bank doesn't need any more of my money. So, and I do have like some prescriptions that come up for myself or my daughter, or little visits or whatever. So I wanted to continue to grow the balance in that account. Long story short, long story long. So those were my debts for this year. In 2023, I also purchased a bed, a washer and a dryer, and a refrigerator, because all your appliances tend to go out at the same time. But those I kind of cash flowed with the money I had saved. This year I didn't have any of those expenses, which I'm grateful for. So then the big changes, that not only was food going up in cost, but the other big changes were home insurance. When I put these numbers down, I almost fell over. Home insurance for me in 2023 was $1,820. In 2024, it had gone up to $2,269. And this year it went up to $3,305, which is an 81% increase over the 2-year period. So from here to here. I thought, what the hell? That's expensive. And now they're pulling out of Texas, so I have to find a new insurance carrier. Jerks. So my car insurance was $1,585. When I added Alex, my daughter, to my car insurance, it went up to $2,620. So that was just to add her to my vehicle, which she was hardly ever driving. But then we also added, so for the new year, we added her sometime this year, between here and here. We added the vehicle we purchased, and then this also included an increase of, I don't know how much, because when you have mid-year changes, I don't know exactly how much this increased just by rate. But the bill portion of this increased by 153%. For me, that was $200 a month. This one was the home insurance increased by $94 a month. Flood insurance didn't really change, which I was kind of surprised. It went down a little, went back up a little, not a big deal. My internet was one of my other bills that keeps changing. So it was $81 in 2023, it was $86 in 2024, and this year it's $96. They just had another increase. So that's an 18% increase over the 2-year period, so almost 10% each year. Not a lot per month when you look at it per month, but every little bit starts to add up. My cell service also increased from $155 to $175 to $196 with no changes. 0 changes. I made no adjustments. No new cell phones, no plan changes, no additions. So that was a 26% increase over the 2 years. And I went 2 years because I wanted to see the total for the full period, what's really gone on with my finances. Yet again, a 26% increase is only a $3.50 per month change. But when you add that, for the year, these little things start adding up. My water bill, which was already ridiculously high, I'm at the minimum usage allowed, meaning I don't use more than the minimum, so my bill would never have been less than $171. It went up to $187 last year, and this year it's at $212. And that's a 25% increase also. So that's also about $3 and some cents per month. But there's no reason for the increase. Zero reason. So I'm frustrated with that, especially because there's nothing I can do to reduce it. Nothing. I could stop using the water and I'm still going to pay $212 a month. So when I looked at the numbers, the total bills were $45.30. For last year, they were $60.46. And beginning this year, they're $85.46, which is an 88% increase over a 2-year period. Almost 100% increase. And that's not every bill. These were the bills that I could actually see a physical change in. We all know food has gone through the roof. We all know there's little, like fast food, gas goes up and down. We never know what it's going to be. So that was the thing that was killing me. And half of that half of that was not necessarily just increases in cost. Half of it was me adding exposure. So my daughter's car added to my auto insurance was a big chunk of that. Still, don't care. It was still an increase to my bottom line. So overall, these items right here have increased by $304 a month. I used to, when I was younger, I didn't have extra per month. All of my money was taken up for bills or for food or whatever, cost of living at that. When you're young, when you're first starting out, you just don't have that much. Well, I finally, about 10 years ago, started budgeting and understanding budgeting. And so I cut all of my expenses back and was able to have a surplus per month, which I use for savings, right? Well, now I have $304 less per month. If this trend continues, I don't think I'm getting annual increases that offset this totally. So basically, I'm getting a little bit poorer each year. I know that sounds pathetic, but anyway, that's the way I was looking at this. I was like, gosh, if this continues on this trend, I may be priced out of my house at some point between home insurance and property tax. Now, property tax was one anomaly here because I know a lot of people have been talking about property tax. My property tax was $37.50 in 2023. It went down to $31.35 in 2024, which I don't know why, but it has gone back up to $35.45. So between this year and this year, that's an overall decrease of about 5.5%. Not huge, but it is a decrease, but it is an increase from last year when it was $31.35. So I don't know exactly what they're doing because I don't think there's that much of a significant difference in property values right now. I think property values are going down, so this should not have gone up this year. However, I didn't take it up with the tax authority. I didn't feel like arguing. So anyway, all of my accounts, my binders, which I look at them kind of like an account, started at zero this year. I started out brand new, no cash in a binder, didn't even have a binder. So bills, this is my bills binder, and this is meant to be an in and out. In and out. So this little analysis here is not necessarily fantastic in terms of I have an end goal, because I won't have an end goal on this one. However, you'll notice gas and tolls, I did save a surplus of $642. Why? It's because I had been putting in $170 or $175 each month into this envelope, and I wasn't using that much, either because gas came down or we weren't traveling as much. So I have a surplus here that I'm going to reallocate some of it. I just don't know where yet. So these are just in and out, but I'm a little behind on pet costs. I've been using my pet costs for pet food and for supplements for his joints, and because he's getting old, so I have a long way to go on that one. And then the car insurance, I have saved $3,000 of that so far this year, but I still have $1,400 left to save before the bill is due. So I put that into my high yield savings to get a little bit of interest on it. I don't know how great I'm getting, how much interest I'm really getting and how much benefit I'm getting, because when I did a little bit of an analysis on my taxes for this year, when I put in my interest earned from the high yield savings and any of the other little tiny bits of interest I earned on any of my other accounts, and by tiny, I mean pennies per month. When I just put in that, my tax owed increased, because I'm going to owe this year. Long story, because of changing payroll companies and withholding was weird at the beginning of the year. Well, I have everything in but my interest earned. When I put in my interest earned, I can't say more than $300. My tax increased like $30 or so dollars, because they want their fair share of any interest you might have earned. So keep that in mind when you're doing your taxes. They want their money too. And I can't say it's their money. I say it's my money and they're taking it. So my true sinking funds I'm going to call this long-term sinking funds. This one has things like car maintenance, donations, fun, health, medical, dental, house. Health is right there. office, prepping tires, unexpected expenses, my veterinary fund, and I guess I'm going to move my holidays and gifts and taxes envelope into this envelope, into this binder, I guess is what I was gonna do. But I didn't do that yet. I just noticed it a little bit ago. So this one started at 0, all except my veterinary fund. I did have $1,042 in there, and I have only gained about $140 in this envelope this year because I did have some vet expenses. He had an ear infection and we had to go a couple of times, and each time was a couple of $100. So that makes this $3,000 goal take a while. I still have 1818 to accrue this year. I am going to put some of the bonus I received this year towards some of these sinking funds to beef them up because frankly, this is the one that I was like, dang, I haven't gone anywhere on these envelopes, and I've been doing this all year long. So car maintenance, I wanted to save $2,000. I currently have $223 in there. I just had to buy a car battery. That was $225. And I just had to also take some money out for some work that a friend of mine did on the car. So I'm back down to almost 0. And I'd been saving all year. Now, the good part is that I had the money to put towards it. It wasn't painful at all to pay for it. But when I look at this, I feel like I'm just not making headway. This is very little for what it should be. But I'm super hopeful that now that we've made some changes, that I'll be able to beef these up a little faster. Not just by stuffing, because these all get stuffed, but by playing games to increase these. Plus, I am going to put some of my bonus. Last year I had 0 bonus left over because I paid off my car. So this year I hope to have a little that I can put towards some of these sinking funds to just make myself feel better. That's really all it's going to do, is make myself feel better. And then let's see. My daughter's senior binder is halfway done, basically. I only have, well, this is ongoing. So the birthday, the school costs, and the glasses and contacts are ongoing. Glasses and contacts are at their goal. School costs are an in and out bill type envelope, and birthday we're just accruing. We're almost there. So the senior banner, that was left over from the cap and gown, and we're going to fund the senior banner that I didn't know she wanted, and I'll still have about $23 left in that particular envelope to reallocate. Still not sure what we're doing with senior pictures. We did some, we didn't like them. I've said it, 5 times. So we only have to finish up the savings for the prom dress. Clothing is a continuing and ongoing envelope too, and her graduation party. And then once these are all funded, I'm going to just start putting the same amount of money in the college envelope per month. Same amount. It's all going to go in here. So I assume school costs will just be transferred down here, plus the same amount I was saving for these. So I think it's about $600 a month. I don't know what I'm going to need. I don't know where she's going to go. But this one is almost done. So it's not really stuffing like my snowball savings that I had, where I had many more items on here. So this one I'm kind of just going to wrap up, and it's going to become less intrusive this year. This one I started in August. This is the month ahead. I realized I'm not saving. I'm only saving to spend. Everything I have is a sinking fund for spending almost immediately or within the year, which that doesn't make me feel very good. I'm supposed to be saving money. So I started this month ahead snowball sinking fund where I was only doing $36 a month. I think it 39, maybe 39. And it was $3 in every envelope. And as soon as they're funded, I move that $3 to the next envelope, and then those $6 to the next envelope. So currently I'm working on the internet one, and we have $48 in there, and we still have $48 left to save. And so then the next one we'll be saving for is life insurance, because that goal amount was $105 per month. So by the time we get there, by the time we stuff this one will be bigger, because every month we're putting in $3 to each of these folders or envelopes down here. This one I have increased to $5. Woo! I know, $5, right? It's $2. But I don't have to dink around with $3 bills. and it's $2 more. So it actually increased it pretty significantly, at least by 2/3. So 66%, let's say. So I will be stuffing $5 in each of these, and then hopefully I will also be playing some games that I will be putting towards the current folder. So the internet one, let's say I finished one of my mini games or something, and I either allocated it or I did a randomizer. Whatever I randomized to my month ahead will go into the current envelope. So I hope to move this one along. So since August to the end of December, I only saved $467. But I also saved $467 using $39 every other week. That's pretty good. I was kind of impressed because I felt like $3 wasn't much. On the other hand, it's something. Before there was nothing. So this month ahead is going to be used in my emergency folder, because really if I'm using a month ahead anything, it's going to be an emergency. In my case, not everybody uses it the same way, because I do know the Steph's on a budget that she's the one who motivated me to do the $3. She started hers with $3. And I thought, well, darn, hers is building pretty quick. I'm going to try it. And I did, and I like it. And actually, I enjoy doing it because I feel like I've accomplished something. This year, I'm adding the low priority snowball sinking funds. This is my little pink, not urgent, kind of more wants than needs envelopes. So, see, like I have gifts and holiday in here too, but I have it in the other one. So I need to move this one to the right spot. I'm just gonna make a little note here to look at that again. And then the tax binder is gonna disappear, the tax envelope after this year, it'll go away. I won't be saving for them anymore, whatever. So this one already has a little bit of money in some of these because I was using some of my not sinking funds, so some of my games, my savings games, and allocating them into some of these. Well, I definitely want to do this as a snowball type. Plus, I'll add games when necessary. So, or when I want to, because some of these things are going to take a while to do. This one already has its own game, so there's no goal amount there. This is my guilt-free money because I don't have any money for myself, pretty much. And I always feel guilty spending money on myself. So this one doesn't have a goal amount. It's for now. If I end up accruing too much, great. I'll put a goal on there and stop saving. But for now, it's only at $48. This is going to be used for things like my clothing, shoes, makeup, whatever I need for me. And then I have other little things in here that I wanted to save for. So I'm going to put $5 in each of these as well and start after the tax. So from Buc-ee's down, I go to Buc-ee's like quarterly, and I go there to change out some gas for my generators because they are the only place in the area that has ethanol-free gas. So, but when you go to Buc-ee's, you can't just go to Buc-ee's to get gas. You have to go inside the store. And it's the biggest tourist trap ever, but it's amazing. So you just can't go to Buc-ee's without spending some money. So I decided this was always busting my budget because I didn't have a category for it, so I made one. So by adding $5 each paycheck, so twice a month, it's only $10, I'll have to beef this up with some games for sure because it's low right now. I'm hoping to not bust my budget when I go to Buc-ee's. So there's other things I want. Guest fund. I'm getting a cell phone replacement. I have some games, which I'm surprised. It's only $33 in there. I thought I had played more games, but perhaps not. We need to replace our cell phones. They're getting old. They're starting to become a little bit unreliable. I don't like to replace cell phones because they cost an arm and a leg. And so these are just things that I wanted. As you can see, the numbers are weird. They're all a little bit weird, so they're not going to be nice and neat like this month ahead where all the numbers are the same. They're going to be a little messy because I'm just going to start adding $5 to the amount that's in there. So that is it for my recap from 2024. I think I covered everything that I wanted to say. I love to see people's recaps to see how they did and what they learned. And I learned that I need to do something to enhance my savings for the sinking funds. I mean, I'm getting by, but I'm not getting to a point where I can stop saving for some of these sinking funds to put money elsewhere. So I need to figure that out and how best to do that. So I was thinking to potentially do my tax binder today as a game, but I already have talked for 30 minutes. So do I really need to talk more? I'm sure you're done with me. Hopefully this was insightful for some of you. I started this because my money just kept disappearing and it was getting worse during the inflation increasing, and I needed to know where was the leak. And this has helped. I can see where the leak was. Some of it. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will talk to you on Money Monday? Mini Monday, most likely. Talk to you soon.